Well, hey guys, what's up? It's your boy, one and only AI Legends, and yeah guys, today I am back with the next part of what if Naruto was abandoned by his family and was banished by Konoha. So yeah guys, first of all, I would like to thank all of you guys for the 10k. It was really great guys. I really wanted to reach 10k and I have finally reached it. So yeah guys, thanks to all of you guys. So I'm already making plans what should be, you can say, 10k special, but if you guys have some ideas, please tell me in the comment section. I will think about it. As a matter of fact, I have think about two series at this point. What if Naruto showed Konoha its place? And what if Naruto, yeah, what if Naruto went back in time? And there was another series, but I'm still thinking about it. What if Naruto was the Demon King? At this point, I have, you can say, thought about three stories and their, you can say, whole script and all that. But if you guys have some other ideas, please tell me in the comment section. I will think about it and we will see. But before that, I wanted to finish this series and hopefully in 2 or 3 parts, it will be completed. So yeah, guys. And yeah, guys, I have reached 10k and let's see how much time it will take for me to reach 20k, but still I will try my best to upload as much videos as what you guys can. So yeah guys, if you guys have not subscribed yet, please guys do so. It will really help me a lot. And follow me on Instagram by the page of AI Legends 1234. If you search it on Instagram, you should be able to find it. So please guys follow me on Instagram and subscribe to this channel. So yeah guys, without wasting any more of your time, let us start the video. So last time we left off as we saw that how Minato as well as the council had a huge smirks on their faces as finally the time finally ended, as the time seal was broken on this scroll of the Uzumaki clan as Minato unsealed it, as he as well as the whole council was literally utterly shocked when a summoning array followed with the, you can say, unsealing of the secrets as Naruto finally arrived there, as all the council was in little shock as they thought that the weapon of the Uzumaki clan will finally be in their hands and they will crush all the elemental nations and they will rule as the supreme force in the elemental nation as Konoha as it should be. As Minato as well as all the council members were in little shock as when Naruto arrived, as they started to ask him questions and about the weapon of the Sage of Six Part and the secret of the Uzumaki clans, as Naruto smirked and explained the situation that how he had already gotten it and how the Arashi Uzumaki did not die that day, which literally shocked Kushina, who started to accuse Naruto, saying that how her so-called brother died as Naruto did not even pay her any mind, which further angered Kushina. As while on the other hand, Naruto literally explained that how Konoha is literally destroyed because of their own actions, and after that he simply poof away. While on the other hand, Minato was pretty angry about the whole situation. The fourth great ninja war has already been declared. Iva is already against them. As a matter of fact, some of the, you can say, spies have explained the situation that all the other elemental nations have decided to move against Konoha so that they can destroy them, as all the council members were in little shock. All of their dreams, all of their planning and years of scheming, of gathering power and making all the other elemental nations weak so that they can get their hands on the weapon and finally crush all the elemental nation, and within the blink of an eye all of their plans were literally doomed just because of one demon boy, as they could not believe it. That demon boy who they thought was literally useless had the most powerful Kekkei Genkai, which is feared across even now in the elemental nations, the dark and shadow release itself, as well as now possess the weapon and the secrets of the Uzumaki clan. While on the other hand, a news was delivered that how Aiwa Shinobi are heading toward the south border of the Hinakonis. So Minato sent both Menma and Miruko, being the Jinchuriki, so that they can handle the force and quickly end the battle, so that they can come together and make some plans how to deal with the whole Naruto, as well as how to get the weapon of the Sage of Six Parts and the secrets of the Uzumaki clan back to Konoha so that they can scheme even further. So yeah guys, that was the last part. If you guys have not seen yet, please check it out. You will definitely like it. So let's start the video from here on. As Menma, Naruto as well as Kakashi, who was sent with the, you can say, whole order, as Kakashi was given another Sharingan, which was the Sharingan of Fugaku Uchiha, as well as possessed the Mangekyo abilities, as well as Kakashi finally got the Sharingan as well as several jutsus with it. After all, he lost his Sharingan to Naruto. So Minato simply gave him another one so that Leaf could still be seen as one of the strongest there is. After all, Danzo has already gathered so many Sharingans for itself as Kakashi, along with all the 1000 shinobi, finally arrived to the battlefield where they could, for a moment, could see several shinobis were there. But when they started to arrive there, as Kakashi did not want to take some, you can say, chances, so he activated his Mangekyo Sharingan. Suddenly, the fear started to creep into his heart as all the army that was in front of them was simply vanished into black mist as a chuckle could be heard. Well, well, well. It seemed that my dearest dad has decided to give you another pair of Sharingan, huh? Quite a coward way, if I must say. As a figure started to walk towards them as Menma and Naruto were simply narrowed their eyes and you can say everyone could see arrogance was simply leaking from every fiber of their body as Kakashi was taken aback from it and then suddenly his you can say gaze that was in his mind started to clear and suddenly his eyes shot open. He remembered it was not the Aiwa shinobi in the land of Wave which killed off all of its shinobi. No, it was this demon as Kakashi was taken aback from that. As he said, you, as Naruto started to chuckle as he, you can say, uncovered his face. Well, 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 Kakashi sensei, been a while, wouldn't you agree? Huh? As he let out a smirk came to his face, as Kakashi was taken aback from it, as all the memories, all the, you can say, altered memories which Naruto made in the mind of Kakashi were finally coming back to him, as he could see the slaughter that happened in the land of Wave. A single shinobi literally destroy 1000 elites of Konoha as then Menma speak up. So you're the loser brother of ours, huh? The one, the very one who our parents literally abandoned because he was so useless. As Naruto smirked, well, you do not look much, So mom and dad were right to abandon you. After all, you're nothing more than a weakling, As Naruto let out a chuckle, as he said, well, if it isn't my dearest siblings, Menma and Naruto, Well, as he simply looked towards them up and down, as he said, quite weak, if I must say. I'm not impressed at all. At that, both Menma and Mito, you can say Naruto, clenched their fists as he said, what did you say to me, you damn loser? As Menma stepped forward, as Kakashi said, Menma, stop it. We have to retrieve. As Menma scoffed as he said, mom and dad were already looking for this loser. To be honest, I do not know why they were looking for such a weakling like him, but it does not matter. I'm going to bring you back to Konoha so that you could be a pet to our people as well as mom and dad. As Naruto smirked at that as her eyes changed into slits as he said, it will end within seconds. As not a smirk, well, you're right about one thing, dearest sister, it will end in 1 second. But I'm not in hurry, you see. As Naruto, you can say, started to lean into a small tree that was there. I'm getting a bit bored. Last time it was no fun at all. As he looked towards Kakashi, it ended so quickly. Wouldn't you agree, Kakashi sensei? As Kakashi was already sweating hard, as he knew for a matter, even though with all the arrogance and ignorance of Kakashi, he was not stupid at all when it comes to his own life. He knows that at this point he does not stand a chance. But then again, he have two of the Jinchurikis of the nine-tailed fox, so there could be a chance, but he has to stop Menma and Naruto to engage Naruto at this moment. They can come up with a plan, and they have so many shinobis behind them, and yes, they could still win. As Kakashi's eyes narrowed further, but at this point, he needs a plan to take this demon down and get the weapon of the Sage's expert back to Konoha. It is a golden opportunity. He simply cannot let it go. As he narrowed his eyes, Uzumaki Naruto, by the order of Yandaime Hokage for treason against Konoha, you are to be sentenced back to Konoha, and you are arrested. As Naruto simply looked towards Kakashi with a bored expression, and then a chuckle could be heard, and then it burst into laughter as he said, oh really Kakashi-sensei, well, at least in all of this time of me going out of Konoha, you get a bit of humor. Well, that's a good thing for you, Copy Ninja, as Kakashi narrowed his eyes at that as Naruto said, just for that joke, I'm going to entertain you as well. Mind hearing the joke? As Kakashi narrowed his eyes, already wondering, as Naruto simply looked towards Nenma and Naruto, who were about to, you can say, rush towards Naruto, as he said, so, you are the pets of Konoha. Well, Let's see who's the demon here, Kakashi. As Menma and Naruto already had slits in their eyes as Naruto snapped his finger. Suddenly, both of the eyes of both Menma and Naruto started to change into darker shade of red as their eyes shot open as they were in their mindscape. As both of them looked around as they said, what is going on here? As they were in a shared mindscape and both of their sides were the cage of the chakra of the nine tails, and then suddenly a figure started to, you can say, land in front of them as both Menma and Naruto tense at that. As Naruto smirked at that, as Naruto said, what did you do to us, you damn loser? As Naruto simply looked towards her with a smirk. Well, it is just the case that I promised QB something. As he looked towards the cages, and behind Naruto could be seen the mighty form of the complete full nine-tailed fox who was, you can say, simply looking towards his chakra with a smirk on his face. That chakra will make him 10 tails itself. He will have a piece of all the chakra of the Bijus and the Gato statue, which is not far away, and having the other half, or rather a full capacity of a full nine-tailed Biju combined with each other. He will have the power of the 10 tails itself. As he had a smirk on his face as both Menma and Naruto were taken aback from it. How is that it is not possible? Both of them had the nine tails inside of them, not that loser. As Naruto smirk at that, as he said, so you noticed, huh? Well, allow me to introduce you guys with my partner. You may know him by the names of QB or the mighty demon fox. As QB let out a chuckle as he said, so tiny humans might enjoying the taste of my power. Well, too bad. That time has come to an end as Menma and Naruto looked towards each other, but then they started to smirk. Well, nice try, loser. But all of Konoha knows that you only have only the soul, the weak and useless soul of the Biju, while on the other hand, we have the power. You and that useless Ninetail cannot do anything. After all, both of you are useless and nothing more than that. As both of them started to chuckle and laugh, as Naruto as well as Kyuubi looked towards them for some time and then burst into laughter. As Naruto simply looked towards Menma as he said, well, to be honest, I can explain the whole situation to you, but at this point, I'm getting bored here. So entertain me, brother. As he simply looked towards both Menma and Naruto as his eyes, you can say, changed into pure black. And the next thing both Menma and Naruto saw as the Ninth chakra was waging out of their cages and you can say merging with them. While in the outside, as both Menma and Naruto let out a rage, or rather a scream of pure pain and utter agony. As Kakashi looked towards them, Menma, Naruto, what is going on here? As his eyes widened as the three tails quickly, you can say, started to envelop both Menma and Naruto. As Kakashi simply looked towards Naruto, who had a dark, you can say, look on his face as they said, entertain me, Hatake. As Kakashi's eyes widened as both Menma and Naruto, you can say, dashes towards Kakashi, who quickly jumped back as all the 1000 shinobi behind. You can say Kakashi simply looked towards in utter horror as their heroes and the demon somehow is commanding their heroes, their savior children of Hokage, as there was a, you can say, utter chaos in the forces of Konoha as Kakashi tried to use his Mangekyo Sharingan to suppress the demonic chakra, but when he tried to enter into the, you can say, whole state of the mindscape, a burst of chakra quickly sent him out of it as Kakashi's eyes widened as he quickly looked back to see as Menma was rushing towards the forces of Konoha and slaughtering them, as Kakashi could not believe it, as how and why it is happening as he looked towards Naruto, who was simply looking towards Kakashi with an amused look on his face as Kakashi narrowed his eyes. Alright, demon, I will take you down, and then the hero children will be praised as such. As Naruto simply let out a yawn at that. Kakashi, Kakashi, Kakashi. Don't you have anything to say for yourself? Well, I'll be honest with yourself. You did had a name for yourself, Kakashi of the Sharingan. But then again, you deep down knew that all of that fame and all of that power was not your own. It was the power of the Sharingan, the power of your late so-called friend of yours. To be honest, I do not care about him. And you knew that without the Sharingan, people knew, and you knew as well, even Konoha knew, that it was not your own fame. So that was the main reason you try to, you can say, sledge up to that Uchiha, knowing that he was the last of his kind and you will get some kind of fame and all that, being the sensei of the whole Uchiha, the only Uchiha, as Kakashi gritted his teeth, and once again you're doing the same thing, the children of Hokage, the hero children, by giving them some training or something like it, trying to get a fame for yourself beside the Sharingan, as Kakashi had enough. Die, demon! As he rushed towards Naruto with a Chidori in his hand, as Naruto simply yawned once again. Well, if you say so, I'll entertain yourself. Kakashi, bring it on. As Kakashi rushed towards Naruto with incredible speed for his, you can say, stature, ready to impale the demon and end this, you can say, nightmare. And then they will have the secret from his dead body. No matter what, he's going to kill the demon. As he rushed towards Naruto, while on the other hand, Naruto finally had enough of it. As they said, you know what? I really hate that Jutsu. And the next thing, Kakashi knew he was on the opposite side of Naruto and wondering if he had gotten the demon, but then suddenly he could feel his arm was no longer attached to his body. A scream of pure agony and pain could be heard across the forces of the Konoha, which was already dwindling pretty fast as all the shinobis looked towards the commander who was missing an arm at this point. As Naruto said, see, look towards the improvement. Last time I got an eye and this time an arm. I wonder what will be next time. As he smirked at that, as Kakashi was in pure pain and agony, as a Konoichi landed beside Kakashi and started to heal him, being a, you can say, fangirl and all that, as Naruto said, well, it seems that there will be a next time. After all, Hatake, let's see if your sensei can replace that arm of yours. After all, he did replace an eye for an eye. Now, let's see if he can replace a arm for an arm. As they started to chuckle at that, while on the other hand, Menma and Ruko has already, you can say, slaughtered over 600 shinobis of Konoha, while on the other hand, other shinobis were retrieving back as fast as they could, while on the other hand, Kakashi was simply grading towards Naruto, trying to use his Mangekyo Sharingan, trying to control the so-called demon or something like it, as Naruto simply yawned at the efforts of Kakashi, as he said, you know what, you're really annoying, as Naruto's, you can say, whole body started to glow with black chakra and a black aura covered his body, and next thing Kakashi knew, he was, no, not here, as he looked all around the place, the red, no, this time a black moon was shining into the sky. It was same as the Tsukiyomi, and the slaughter once again began for poor Kakashi, as he had to go through all the effects of the Tsukiyomi Genjutsu, and even further, he cannot even counter it with his own Mangekyo Sharingan because it was not a Genjutsu to begin with. As Naruto yawned at that once again as Kakashi hit the ground, as Naruto simply started to, you can say, clap his hand. Alright, pets, come here. As both Menma and Ruko, who were in the form of their four-tailed state, quickly rushed towards Naruto and stopped in front of him. As Naruto smiled, well, my dearest siblings, my returning back to your original form. As both their chakra started to return back to their seal, as Naruto smirked, well, Kurama, so are you ready for your promotion? As Kurama started to chuckle, alright, human, you honored your side of the deal, and I will honor at the very last breath you will take in this world. I am bound to you and obey all of your commands, and in return, and your after this all chaos shall ended, you will send me as well as my siblings into another dimension where we can rest assured knowing that the humans will not use us as a weapon once again. As Naruto smirked at that, well, a deal is a deal, Kurama, as Naruto slammed his hand at the stomachs of both Menma and Ruko into the seal, and once again Naruto was standing in front of the seal as both Menma and Ruko were bound with the chains, as both of them looked towards Naruto in utter rage and hatred. What did you do to us, you damn loser? Let us go! As Menma screamed, as Naruto said, yeah, I'm the daughter of Fourth Hokage, let me go, you damn loser! As Naruto ignored both of them, as Naruto smirked, I know that you wanted to do it, so why not try it this time, Kurama? As Kurama smirked, as he slammed all of his 9 tails into the ceiling array of the whole, you can say, Menma seal, as all the bars shattered with a single force of the full power of the 9 tails. After all, this seal was never made to hold back the full power of the 9 tails, as all the chakra started to leak into the, you can say, towards Myanmar, who was trying to move back as Kurama led towards his tail, as all the tail started to absorb all the chakra of the yin half of the Kurama, as it started to grow in size, as if furrow look started to came into the face of Kurama, as his skin started to, you can say, change a little. It started to turn into ori, sorry, into a bit silver, as Kurama started to chuckle as he swung his tails once again into the sealing array of Naruto, as shattering the seal and the bars once again, and started to absorb that chakra as he let out a roar. In the real world, as Kakashi and all the other forces were already running as they could, and then suddenly a aura and a, you can say, a blast of silver chakra shoot into the sky, where the battle originally happened while inside of Konoha, as Minato as well as Kushina, Jiraiya and Tsunade were, you can say, in the bar, as they simply looked into the sky. From the far away look, people could easily see and the immense chakra that was radiated from the body, while inside of Naruto, as Kurama started to grow even further, as suddenly a eye started to open up into his head. Naruto did not only absorb all the chakra of the, you can say, the previous chakra of the nine tails combined with his own chakra of the nine tails, he also got a bit of sample of the all the chakra of all the bijus and a bit of the whole ghetto statue, and absorbed it with the, you can say, nine tails chakra as well, thus giving him enough power to once again begin the Jubi itself, as a burst of chakra could be seen as well as felt in all the elemental nations, as Gara, the Kazekage, as well as Raikage A, as well as all of them were looking into the sky as they could feel the bloodlust as well as the immense power that was being radiated from the area, while on the other hand Naruto was simply looking towards Kurama, who was chuckling, as well as the power was simply oozing from his body, as 10 silver, you can say, tails were swinging behind him, as well as a eye could be seen in the head of Kurama, who was chuckling with a, you can say, Rinne Sharingan spinning in his eyes, as Kurama looked towards Naruto. Well, human, you have fulfilled your deal, and I will do so as well. As he simply put a hand towards Naruto, who smirked as he bumped face with Kurama, as the light finally died down, and then an immense pressure could be feel across the, you can say, Konoha forces, which were still trying to run, as well as some of them still trying to see what is going on here, as a pressure could be felt across the forces of Konoha, as all of them could feel the power, while on the other hand Naruto was simply looking towards his hand, as, you can say, nine spinning truth-seeking orbs were behind Naruto, as well as, you can say, the Rinnegan eyes were spinning in his eyes. He could feel a strange connection to something, but it is pretty, let's just say that, non-existent, but still there is, as Naruto simply shook his head, completely ignoring it at that, as he could feel the power which he has not never sensed before or felt. It was far above that power when he got into the Kurama KCM mode. This is even more powerful than that, but then again, this is the power of full power of the Jubi itself, or even more than that, as Naruto let out a smirk came to his face. This is just perfect, as Naruto simply vanished from the area. Now let us get back to Kakashi, as the forces of the Konoha were far away, as Kakashi opened his eyes as he said, Menma, Naruto, where are they? As the forces simply, you can say, shivered at that name now. After all, they always call Naruto a demon, nothing more than that, a demon. Even when they heard that he was a son of fourth Hokage, but then again, the Yandaime himself abandoned that kid, which even more solidified their belief that that kid was nothing more than a demon. But in all of that time, their so-called demon always took hits and did nothing more than that, even though they have seen him now, but still, while on the other hand, after the nine-tail attack, the first time they felt the wrath of a true demon, or the very first time they remembered the true and utter horror of that night, was when both Menma, their so-called supposed hero and saviors, were upon them and slaughtered their own family and friends within a blink of an eye, and they were able to do next to nothing, as Most of them were angry at that. After all, both Menma and Naruto were supposed to be their savior, their heroes, not their, you can say, demise, as Kakashi could feel the resentment coming off from most of the shinobi that were there. But at this point, both Menma and Naruto are the Jinchurikis of Konoha. Without them, they are as good as doomed. And they have already lost so much of their shinobi forces in a battle against that damn demon, as Kakashi thought in his mind, as at this point they simply cannot lose. Both of their Jinchurikis have the power of the full nine tails behind them. If Naruto got that power, all of them were doomed. As Kakashi finally stood up, as well as some of the shinobi behind them, as he said, alright, we have to get them. As he simply went towards the area once again, as some of the shinobis were reluctant but still followed their commander as they arrived to see the location, as both Menma and Naruto were on the ground and barely breathing. As Kakashi's eyes shot over, he had to bring both of them back to Minato sensei as he ordered his shinobi, as some of them were still angry at both Menma and Naruto, but still, they are shinobi, they know the importance of a Jinchuriki, and both of them are the Jinchurikis. As Kakashi was already praying in his mind, that seal was still incontinent, and Naruto must have done something to both Menma and Naruto for both of them to turn against their own comrades and the shinobis of Konoha, as they finally rushed towards the gates of Konoha, while on the other hand, most of the elemental nations were looking a bit, you can say, disturbed as well as a bit worried. After all, they sense that immense power. Now let us go towards the shadows, as one lonely figure was simply slamming his fist into the wall. This was none other than the masked man. He barely escaped, you can say, the clutches of that Uzumaki Naruto, the so-called demon of Konoha. As he was angry, beyond angry, he went back to see all of its Akatsuki members turn against him. Even when he said that he was Madara Uchiha, they did not respond whatsoever, as if all of them were in a genjutsu or something like it. He tried using his even Sharingan, but to no avail. He tried to get the Rinnegan for himself, but to his little surprise, as Pain, or rather Nagato, was still controlling all the parts of the pain, but this time without the Rinnegan, but still with the abilities of the Rinnegan, as Nagato did not have the Rinnegan, as he was utterly shocked when he was sent flying with the, you can say, almighty push, as Uzumaki Naruto was there. He barely, and when I say barely escaped with his life, as he was beaten to the very inch of his life, and his mask completely broken and shattered, as both Nagato and that Uzumaki Naruto had the audacity to laugh at his face, saying that how he was just a coward trying to use the name of Madara Uchiha and can never be more than that. Hey, they had the Gado statue, they have the power of the Biju on their side, and now they possess the secret weapon of the Uzumaki clan, which Obito, with all, you can say, honesty, did not know much about it and still heard some rumors here and there, nothing more than that. And he was beyond angry. His plan to spend his life with his Rin once again in the dream world was shattering in front of his eyes. He will not have it. He will have his revenge on the Akatsuki. He will have his revenge on the Uzumaki Naruto and Uzumaki Nagato. He will have their heads. Yes, he's an Uchiha, an elite. As Obito started to laugh at that, he needs planning. Well, one good thing came out of it after all. The elemental nations are once again in 4th grade ninja war. All he has to do is play his cards right, and then he will have the Jubi in his control. But first thing he needs is the Rinnegan. As much as he hates to do it, he has to bring back Madara Uchiha himself. As he started to chuckle at that, soon Uzumaki Naruto, I will have your head. As he started to laugh at that. Now let us cut back to, you can say, the rock village, the stone village. But was it again rock or stone? I actually don't remember. Let's just say, yeah, in the council chamber of the Tsuchikage, as Tsuchikage was looking towards his council, as one of the members stood up. Well, Lord Tsuchikage have been able to find out what that burst of chakra actually was. As some of the members were a bit nervous, Tsuchikage scoffed as he said, to be honest, I do not know much about it. The leaf is trying to cover up. It seems that it has something to do with the secret weapon of the leaf. As most of the members were a bit nervous, but then one of them stood up. Alright, Lord Tsuchikage, we have enough of Konoha. Soon enough, Konoha shall fall. They're trying to use their weapon to trying to make us look weak. We will not have it. We are not afraid of them. As most of them started to nod at that, as Tsuchikage smirked. Yes, this was a shinobi. They are not afraid of that, you can say, Konoha, Yellow Flash, or their shinobis, or their Jinchuriki, they will face them all. As then a member arrived within the council chamber. Lord Tsuchikage, we got a letter from the mist as well as the cloud village. As Tsuchikage grabbed both of the letters as he started to open them, as his eyes widened for a moment, and then a smirk came to his face as he said, well, it seemed that the mist as well as the cloud village wants to ally themselves with us in this war. As there were several murmurs could be heard as one of the council members stood up. But Lord Tsuchikage, can we trust them? This is a war against Konoha. As they simply looked towards each other as Tsuchikage thought it for some time. I know for a fact that Cloud Village will not abandon us or rather backstab us, while on the other hand the Mist, we have the, you can say, some evidence that Mist is not allied with Konoha at all. After all, Konoha had tried to gain some of the Kekkei Genkai in their whole Bloody Mist era, and the maze is not in good terms with Konoha, so this could be opportunity. So there are proof that they will ally themselves with us. As they simply look towards each other with a smile, even some of the members were nervous of going against a war against the Yellow Flash, but with the effort and support of two of another elemental nations, they will have the manpower to crush Konoha no matter what. Even if they have two of the Sonin and the Yellow Flash himself, it will not matter whatsoever. As Tsuchikage smirked at that, only the Suna has remained, even though the Rock Village has never been in good terms with the Sand, but still, there is a chance that how the Gaara, the Kazekage of Sand Village might ally himself with the Rock in this war. After all, Konoha is a worldwide threat to all the other elemental nations. As they simply smirk at that, soon enough they will crush Konoha no matter what. While on the other hand, let us cut back to Kakashi as well as the remaining 300 and many of them injured or poisoned with the destructive chakra of the Kyuubi finally arrive into the gates of Konoha Gakure. As Minato as well as the council chamber was already present, as all the other council members were there, the clan heads as well as the new civilian council members as well. Even though Minato hated it, as the elders wanted to put the civilian council member there as well. So yeah, even though Minato has executed most of them, but still he has finally seen that how even his own laws are against him. He made the laws so that he can finally get the position of Hokage once again back when he came back to Konoha, making the position of Tsunade, the fifth Hokage, even so weak that when Minato came, he used those laws and finally got the position for himself. Now, those are the same laws are which are used being against which are being used against Minato himself, even though he wanted to get rid of the civilian council member. As a matter of fact, he even wanted to get rid of the shinobi council so that he could use all the power which he had as a Hokage. But now, those were the same laws. He simply cannot get rid of the shinobi as well as the civilian council member, no matter how much the people love Minato. When it came to greedy people, they always used the loopholes, and these are the very loopholes which Minato created for his own benefits and now are being used against him. And then a member arrived. Lord Hokage, our forces had returned back, which were sent into the southern border of the Haino Kuni. As Minato smiled, so they came back with the happy news, huh? As I said, alright, bring me the commander as well as my children so that they can give the reports. As the, you can say, the shinobi was looking a bit nervous but still nodded at that as he simply went off, as most of the shinobi council members were murmuring several things among themselves, and they were already trying to make some plans and how to get the demon, are trying to track him down so that they can get the weapon of the Sage of Six Paths and the secrets of the Uzumaki clan back for themselves, though, so that they can use it as well as so that they can bring the, you can say, the demon back so that they can use him as a weapon against the other elemental nations. And now, since he possessed the dark and the shadow release, he could be used as a perfect weapon no matter how they will see it, as Donzo was already waiting for the hunter ninjas as well as some of the root members he himself sent so that they can track down the demon and bring him back so that he could be used as a weapon. As then the doors been opened and then finally arrived Kakashi Hatake, you can say missing one arm, as all the members' eyes widened at that, as Kakashi was pretty, you can say, injured and bruises were all over his body. He was looking pretty tired and all that. As Minato's eyes shot open, his only living student has came back with one arm missing. It could have seriously, you can say, hindered his progress as a shinobi. As Minato stood up, Kakashi. As Kakashi simply looked towards Minato, as he said, Minato Sensei. As Minato had a bad feeling at that, as even Kushina eyes widened at that, wondering what is going on here. As Kakashi said, I have something to report to the council. As Minato simply nodded at that, wanting to know what actually happened to Kakashi right then and there. But seeing the wound, the blood has already stopped, so someone must have treated Kakashi. He wanted to know who did this to his prized student. He will have his head no matter what. As Minato simply looked towards Kakashi as he said, well, it all begins with the Wave Country mission. It was not the Aiwa who killed off our shinobi, as there were several murmurs going on, as most of the people were looking towards Kakashi as if he has finally lost it. It was that demon Uzumaki Naruto, as there were several, you can say, shouts in the whole council member, as well as the civilian council member shouting even loudly, as Minato said, enough, as all of them were silent, as Minato looked towards Kakashi with narrowed eyes, wondering what is going on here. Alright, Kakashi, explain. As Kakashi nodded, as he started to explain that how it was not the Aiwa Shinobi when they went into the Wave Country. Those were, as it was only one demon known as the Uzumaki Naruto who simply slaughtered their whole army, and after destroying their army, he was able to change the memories of all the rookie nuns as well as himself as well, so that it could be look like these were the Aiba shinobis. And then the fourth great ninja war began, and this time he started to explain that when he arrived there, Naruto did something to both Menma and Naruto, and then both of them turned into their four-tail state or even five tails, and then started to, you can say, attack their own people. As at this, both Minato as Kushina's eyes widened to train both Menma and Naruto, and Minato know it for a fact that both Menma and Naruto cannot control, or as a matter of fact, deep down he knew that both of them could never control the four-tail state or above it. After all, he came to the realization without the soul of the nine tails, it was literally impossible to control the whole chakra of the four tail, which is even more corrosive than the three tails and above it. So both Menma and Naruto attacked their own army and started to slaughter them. As Kakashi explained that when he tried to kill Naruto so that he can take him down and then they could take the weapon from his dead body, and how he was able to took out his arm with little to no effort whatsoever, as Minato slammed his fist into the table, shattering it apart, as he said, damn you Naruto, I will kill you no matter what. As he screamed in the top of his lung, as Kushina simply looked towards her husband, but then she nodded at that. She will get rid of that demon no matter what, as he is making so many difficulties in her plan. After all, she has waited and plotted for years so that she could have that weapon in her hand. After all, and Uzumaki is the only one who can contain that weapon. After all, it was the Sage of Six Paths who gave that weapon to the Uzumakis, the descendant of his son, when the descendant of Ashura Otsutsuki started to make his own clan different from the Senju clan known as the Uzumaki clan, as the Sage of Six Paths in his dying breath gave that weapon to the Uzumakis, so therefore only an Uzumaki can wield that weapon, even though Minato wanted to wield it itself, but he knew that only Menma, Naruto or Kushina is the only one who can wield such a weapon because of their strong life force as well as the seal placed upon the weapon, so that only the Uzumakis can use it no matter what. No Uchiha, no Senju, only Uzumakis, and definitely not a Namikaze, who is just a civilian family, no matter how much Minato wanted to make it a clan or something like it. As Minato gritted his teeth at that, as then one of the civilian council members stood up. So, Hatake Kakashi, you're saying that our hero children have turned up against us. As Kakashi simply looked towards them, as Minato also shot a glare towards the civilian member who simply ignored both of it, as he said, alright, we have to do something about it, Lord Hokage, as it seemed that the demon inside of them is trying to take control, and that as Minato knew that this is going to get even more difficult from here on. He simply cannot let Konoha to doubt his strength and the strength of his children, or the whole, you can say, propaganda which he made of hero children, as well as Naruto being a demon and both Menma and Naruto being the savior of Konoha, so that he could use it as a, you can say, politically. Now it is making his hold on Konoha so weak, unknown to anyone, as Danzo let out a small smirk came to his face, with all the, you can say, saying in all of his life that how he's a patriot to Konoha. Danzo never cared about the village itself, he only cared about himself, even though Konoha is at the verge of destruction with the start of the fourth great ninja war and all the other, as Donzo only cared about himself. Even now, when all the other elemental nations are going up against Konoha, he's already making plans how to, you can say, take down Minato so that he could become Hokage, and then when he become Hokage, he will use the, you can say, the demon as well as their so-called hero children, who are nothing more than demons in the eyes and the weapons in the eyes of Donzo. He will use them to conquer all the other elemental nations, no matter how these people say that Konoha does not have the power. Huh. When Danzo become Hokage, he will use that power to take down the other elemental nations, as he was already making plan how to take down Minato himself. As Kushina stood up, alright Minato, as she looked towards Kakashi. Kakashi, where are Menma and Naruto? As Kakashi said, well, both of them are at the hospital. We were able to retrieve them before Naruto could do anything to them. And both of them are alive. As Kakashi was pointing out, which means that both Menma and Naruto have the ninth chakra inside of them. As Kushina sighed, you can say, a sigh of relief. Even with all of that planning, she still loved her both of the children. Even Minato loved both of them to some degree, even though he still have some plans for them. But still, as Minato sighed at that, after all, with having both of the Jinchurikis in this world, it's going to be necessary. After all, Aiwa does have two of the Jinchurikis as well. And then suddenly the door burst open as Jiraiya came in with a frantic look on his face, as Minato looked towards Jiraiya with a, you can say, expression of annoyance. What do you want, Sensei? We are a bit busy. As Jiraiya simply shook his head, Minato, we have bad news. I mean, really, really bad news. As Minato had a bad feeling about it. And what would that be? As Jiraiya simply looked towards Minato. Minato, the mist and the cloud has joined forces with Aiva, as there was dead silence in the whole, you can say, chamber. As then suddenly all the council members started to shout of what, as so yeah guys, here we love this part, hope you guys like it. For the next part, you guys already know the like goal, which is, let's say, 350 likes and 180 comments. Do that and I shall upload the next part as quick as possible. So yeah guys, tell me about 10k special, so I will think about it as well. So, yeah, guys, please subscribe, and comment in the comment section. It will really help me a lot. And if you have some ideas for the next part, tell me in the comment section as well. So, yeah, guys, peace.